no award for best in suffering. Get a solid support system. No, they need the award person. Get solid
Oh
support
my.
system. If
Mm,
you need to get a washing machine to do your laundry, get a
mm,
washing machine. Allow them grow, right?
yeah.
They make mistakes, they shouldn't be afraid. A child is trying to pack your plates after dinner and then the cup break and then you're screaming. I mean,
Mm.
you safe. How many
You
have
need
you
to
been
break them.
to? I you as an adult.
Every content that's going to be shared on this channel, they are things you can relate to. Not theory, but practical. Not abstract, but something you and I can tangibly work with in our everyday life.
Thank you so much for being here once again, and I appreciate your time as well and for saying yes. And we'd just like to get to know you a little bit, so you can let us know what you do, any fun fact about you, the number of kids you have. Maybe you have more than biological kids as well. Anything, anything you'd like us to know.
Thank you so much. My name is Oluwatomisin Bodunde. I'm a Christian wife. I'm a mother of two boys, two biological sons. Then I think I have plenty children. Especially teenage children. Those that they grew up in my house. So they're like my children. And then I have a lot of sisters, Christian sisters. Or and fun fact would be like I actually enjoy serving. Serving people, especially in church and singing volunteering and probably with CSRs. I actually enjoy doing. Then when I'm not doing any of those, I'm just sitting at home in my room in my space. I like that a lot. So, thank you.
With your kids probably jumping on you.
They don't always jump on me anymore. Now my back doesn't go. But we were a little bit much younger. But no, no, please. Don't do that. Somebody's child too.
Before you call your mommy for the
Ah, try chasing them my mother too. I'll call my mom. And then
to
they'll
your
tell me,
mom.
I'll call my grandma. The same person actually. Yeah.
Interesting. So, hi everyone, I'm Mercy. Nice to have you guys here. And to anyone that is just joining for the first time, we'd like you to subscribe before you go on, and you get more interesting, amazing, thoughtful, wonderful, inspiring videos for you as well on this channel. Any fun fact about me that I've not mentioned before? Let me see. I don't like to make my hair.
And you have lots of it.
So anytime I want to make my hair, so it's not like as much as I don't like to make my hair, I still make my hair. But so anytime I want to make my hair, I have to put thought like reminders, like I'm going to make my hair next 2 weeks or next this. I'm already remind myself, give myself motivation, in advance for it. So don't be like me. And thank God my mom survived. Because if you have a girl child like make her you know how that can be. Thank the Lord she survived it. All right. So we have conversation starters, and you have from number 1 to 20. So which one would you like to go first? 6. Okay. All right. So share the greatest support you received in your motherhood journey, and why was it the greatest support that you received so far?
Okay, I think I would want to. I would like to rephrase it because actually I've gotten a lot of great support. But I think one support that stood out for me that I would never forget, and I try to pay it forward, would be when I had my first child. As a new mom, I was in my early 20s, and my neighbor, my next door neighbor, she's older. She had a first child too. And then after the whole naming ceremony, everybody had gone back to base. It was just me, my baby, my husband just work, night shift and all. And then she came. she came with gifts, and it was not the regular diaper and stuff that people would naturally do in Nigeria. New mom diaper,
Yeah.
detergent, and the likes. She actually came with some gifts that were like preparing our age for the challenges that the child can have. Like, she introduced me to what to do when a baby has diaper rash. And she actually
Mm,
gave me the ointments to use for it. She taught me acts with storing baby stuff and all of that. Like, it was different for me because nobody ever put me through. Nobody really tells you about the journey of motherhood
mm,
itself. So when the baby comes, I think it's generally but when she came to my next one neighbor, and it just warmed my heart in that moment because she
mm,
came from the part of, oh, I've been there. This is what I think you need. This is what you
mm,
should do when you get to this place. So by the time I actually got to that place, because she had already prepped me, I knew what
mm,
to do. I think that really stood out for me, and I'll never forget
mm.
that.
No, that's really great. And I really love the example you shared. And maybe a big shout out to everybody. When you are thinking of buying something for a new mom in your circle, ask them, what do you need? And if you are being a mom before, you can rope yourself for that. Okay, everybody's going to be bringing, most likely bringing diapers. Maybe I can do something that will be more meaningful to this mom. That would stand out really for any mom. I think it was
Yeah.
also someone I met, someone we actually the same church, and she was talking about, she realized that most people, when a new mom or a mom just give birth to a child or children, most time they will come with gift for the child or the children, but then the mom is like, okay, you give birth, okay, well done. Nothing for the mom. So she ensured that anytime she's going to visit a new mom or someone that just gave birth to their child or children, that she packs something both for the child and also for the mom. So it doesn't feel like, okay, everybody looking at the child and then the mom, they're forgetting about, which actually, when she said that thing, actually we introspected. I'm like, oh, that's true. Most times people most time people don't think deeply about the fact that the mom actually has a whole lot. The child, she's what stress did the child go through? Aside for coming out, going to be fed, cuddling, and all that. While the mom is healing up, there's a lot of things happening with the mom. And we need to do something about it, really. And that's conversation I had with that person actually stood out. Yeah. So I really like the example you shared, where she did.
Yeah. I also want to add that I also had invite that culture. When I go, even if it's a little vitafoam backrest for the mom,
Mm,
I always make sure that I put one thoughtful gift at least for the new
mm,
mom. They actually feel warm to the receiver. So yes, I agree with
yeah.
that.
Yeah. Yeah. And also, there was something I wanted to say, but I forgot in between. The part that don't think that sometimes new moms, when especially for older, let's say older mom, not like you're old, but like you've been in this motherhood journey longer than some people. When you see a new mom, don't assume they know everything. Just because they're not asking you, doesn't mean they know it. So give your own unsolicited advice to them. You just might say the right thing that person needs, and they might not know they need it at that time, but later on it's be like, oh my god, thank you so much for sharing it. you know
Mm.
if it's another mom that received that now, what you receive, like, why is this person bringing the ointment for baby rash and stuff like that? But when you face that, like the actual practicality of it, I'm sure you're like, oh yeah, this thank you for being thoughtful enough to do this. Yeah. So which other question would you like to go for?
Number one.
Okay, number one. So how has motherhood been like for you as a person?
Oh wow. It's been such an
The big question.
experience. Yeah, it is because motherhood and also motherhood changed me. I
Mm,
learned patience. And most importantly, I learned to deal with some flaws. I would explain.
mm,
So there are some things that some character weaknesses that I have that I'm aware of that I really do not want to see in my child. Right? And so I have a child that looks exactly like me. that has both my strengths and my weaknesses, everything. So when I see him exhibiting those flaws, it's like a check on me because children actually do what you do, not what you say most times.
Yeah.
So it makes me more conscious in dealing with him and every other member of family and even outsiders because they react the way you also react. They handle
Mm-hmm.
situations the way you handle situations. So, mother has helped my character development a lot because I'm more conscious about my children. Yeah, it has made me more patient. Then I tend to want to seek more knowledge about them, not based on how I was raised because the times are now
Mm-hmm.
really different.
Yeah.
Motherhood has brought me to the place of prayer and it has made me more authentic and empathic.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can't stand to see a pregnant woman wearing discomfort. Immediately, I try to do something about it. And why? Because I've been there. And I know the
Mm-hmm.
shaking that shaking me. So, you don't understand why I would be in a public bus. I would just be the pregnant woman that I feel she's sitting in a less comfortable place and I also madam please come on. She said, ma'am, I said, don't worry, you're not fine. Cut down. Okay. That's really she's not fine.
Yeah.
And that made me more empathic, even
Mm-hmm.
towards pregnant colleagues, other mothers, because I knew that the journey is not just an easy ride. So that made me
Yeah.
more patient, more empathic, and helps me to deal with some of my feelings.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for sharing that. So, what has been the biggest flaw? Let's go practical a bit. What has been the biggest flaw, or maybe a flaw that stood out to you that you saw
And
your son exhibit,
and
and then you're like, ah,
I mean, this is okay. I think it would be emotional outburst.
mm-hmm.
And now he's a boy, right? If a girl is crying, that's what it is that boys cannot cry. The girl is crying, it's a girl. So I see him like maybe he's right about the case, but because he has been caught, and you
Mm-hmm.
now ask him, okay, so what's going on? What happened? Before he starts telling you what he's already crying. But then he's not even at fault, you know. So it made me I love that it can be it has this emotional intelligence higher than I would say higher than his age range, but the part where it becomes a weakness is what I'm trying to work on. So yeah, I try to make him understand that he can be true to his feeling, but I don't want him to get cheated because it tends towards being a soft person. Right,
Mm-hmm.
he's that one person who, he has people really like him. But then to a place that he would want to go out of his way, even when it's dangerous for him. So I don't want
Mm-hmm.
it to because I have seen the consequences in my own life. So when
Mm-hmm.
I see him doing something, maybe a friend when they are playing a game,
Yeah.
for instance, and he's maybe supposed to score a goal, his opponent is his friend. He will leave what he's supposed to do
I got
but his opponent. No, God, it's not like that. So you see, I'm telling you, no, you score the goal first. Then you will not help your opponent. So that's one of the things I'm really dealing with. That you need to know how not to fall because people will take advantage of that from
mm-hmm.
you,
Sure.
right? And because I've seen experiences that I'm doing and I'm trying to recover from, I don't want him to grow up with that trait to be
Yeah.
people pleaser. Yeah, that's the right word. So I
Mm-hmm.
think that's the major one actually. So yeah.
Yeah. And I want to salute you that you recognize that because if that's the place of introspecting also as a parent. Because sometimes we see our child act a certain way and you ask wondering, where did they pick this up? Where did they pick this up? Maybe it's their kids from their class. Maybe it's you as a parent. Maybe it's
Mm-hmm.
you. And that's
Yeah.
where you before you blackmail or blacklist somebody in their class, ask
Yeah.
yourself, how am I also
Is it
handling this
you?
kind of situation? It's very, very important for us to introspect. And I love that you're able to recognize that because if you're not even a self-aware person as a parent, you don't know that that is it, and you don't know where or how to comment. that, okay, if I change this about me and I start to model that, then it can also help him. So then he's able to not just, like, you can do this, but he's saying that, okay, mommy too can do this. And seeing you do that, it's more practical and motivation for him as well. Yeah. So thank you for sharing that. So which other question would you like to go for?
Number 14.
You went all the way.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, number 14. Coming. All right. So before you got married, how many kids did you plan to have? Is this plan still intact? And if it changed, what happened?
Okay, so before I got married, I planned to have 2 kids, irrespective of the gender. So I have 2 kids, 2 boys. Nothing changed.
What? You're not like me.
Just 2 kids.
Nothing changed. Interesting. So you wanted to want good. So you only wanted 2 kids from the start.
Yes, my conversation with my husband was cool. We're going to have 2 kids, irrespective of gender. Whether 2 boys, 2 girls, a boy and a girl. However they come. I just want 2 elder kids.
Yeah.
That's it.
Love that. 2 healthy kids. Not the, like, I still want the girl, or I still want the boy, and I keep having Look at what is not missing or lost. And actually, people do that thing. It's interesting that people do it. They say, oh, I just love a girl, or I just love a boy. And then you just keep having, you're not asking yourself, do I even have capacity for all these kids I'm having? Just looking for interesting things that people do in this life. I actually like that you guys stuck with that. So the part where I said that you're not like me is that I think initially I wanted 4, either 4 or 3. I should know that I was in between 4 or 3, and Obi wanted either 4, and one of us wanted 4, and one of us wanted 3. I can't remember right now. Don't worry, I'm growing old, so I can't remember. But I just knew that. I just knew that one of us wanted 4, one of us wanted 3, and then we had to meet in the middle. So we ended up with 3, and that 3 right now, I've been saying that, Lord, if you're giving me 3, just give me 2 and 1. Let me just finish it.
You want short spots?
Hi. All right. So, which other question would you like to go for? Actually, I want to go out of the question box. So, what childhood memory shaped you as a person the most when it comes to parenting? Like seeing your parents, how they parented you, or how they were as parents.
I think there are quite a number of experience and some of those memories, but I'll share one that always stand with me and forms my decision, and it makes me always honor the person of my father. So I grew up in a state church, a state background where there were a lot of strict rules. Don't do attachments, don't do this one, don't wear your ring, don't wear your bra, don't scared to belong. Let's just say it was like that. So I had gotten the school uniform. I would think I was the next person, 1 or 2. And the uniform was really long.
Yeah.
So I took the skirt, right? It was a fitted skirt. So a church member's house was a table and told her to help me reduce the length and end it, inside, so that it would just be slightly on my knee or slightly, below my knee. Now secondary school, you don't wear long sleeves, you don't have hands, stuff like that. So and the woman, adjusted it for me. And there was no issue. When we got to church on Sunday, they were doing all these teenagers, then the woman's husband comes around. So some of you be cutting your school skirt so that you'll be brought into things right from secondary school. And you were me.
So you need to preach.
Some of you cut your skirts and all of that, and our parents were supposed to be alive. I'm saying, you don't want to cut your skirts, you will wear those skirts under your parents' roof. Some of you, it's not just some of you, it's just me. Some of you. Some of you, when you won't call your parents' attention to it, they will tell you, they will still different you at your back. So they're going to punish you.
Mm.
It was then I don't realize some of you are trying me. Some of you parents used to be either my father or my mother. And they were that meeting. She had finished teaching in someone. I don't know the weight. They're talking about it, but you use examples as if it's fun. We're not
Mm.
going in the data. And I said, mommy or daddy, the when this person was preaching, I think he was talking to me because I went to make my friend. My friend just started laughing in the car.
You just caught on.
My parents started laughing in the car, and I
Yeah.
didn't go more for this. And my uncle was driving, and he was saying in Yoruba, and he was saying, "He doesn't have work. Because if he has work, he will not come to my house in the evening after a long day to come and tell me about the short skirt. About your short skirt. Yeah, he's supposed to. Yeah, he was just mentioned about your short skirt. I don't know whether he wants to be bringing rapper to school. I don't know. But so my dad didn't even look back. He was just laughing. He was saying, and then he got to church on Sunday. He saying some people's prayer. I don't know why I cannot mention my name. I don't know why I cannot mention my name.
Remember
and
it is
then
for just.
And then my dad and my mom were laughing. I didn't know whether to laugh or whether to cry. I was more confused because how will they come and report your child to you? And the way the culture was back then, if they report it to your parents, it means that
Yeah.
you misbehaved outside. And I
Mm-hmm.
didn't know what my dad told that man that day. But I just realized that he doesn't even talk to me
Mm.
till I went to the university or anything. That man and his wife, they don't talk to me. They don't have anything. I don't know what that said to them, but I know that it protected me behind my back.
Mm.
And the way it just made light of the situation. Do you know that after that, before then, after that, there have been some other incidents that has
Yeah.
to do with things like this hearing, don't wear trouser, don't do this
Mm.
thing. My parents had their stand, right? They had their rules. No
Mm.
colored hair. They are not allowed. No
Mm-hmm.
colored hair. No, so many things, right?
Yeah.
They gave us our boundaries and just
Mm-hmm.
allowed us to be
Mm.
without the doctrine and all of that. No colored hair, no face sweat, no cover clothes, no tight fitted clothes and all.
Yeah.
So, in as much as we were in the midst of those rules and how for them to define whether you're a Christian or not, our parents gave us space and gave us an allowance to express ourselves. So all
Mm.
these things didn't look like big deal
Mm.
then to now bring to the consciousness of it. So how did it affect me? I would not just come and report my child to me without
Mm.
giving. I would defend my child. I can scold
Mm-hmm.
him behind the back, but I will
Mm-hmm.
not allow him to threaten him or
Yeah.
threaten my children with the fear
Mm-hmm.
of me. Because your mother.
Yeah.
Because they
Yeah.
know that if you report my mother, she will have conversations with us. She will not break our head. So
Yeah.
things like that give them more open to. Not that I condone bad character or bad
Yeah.
behavior, but I don't want it to come to people come to say that you threaten them and they get home they cannot express themselves because of
Mm.
fear.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
that. So I think that's one of the
Yeah.
reasons. That
Yeah. I love that you shared that we. I think it was in one of the conversations I was having with. I was having a conversation. I think it was this last week, sure. And I was saying that we are in a culture, actually. Sometimes in Nigeria, the culture in Nigeria is totally different from most of this our outside the country, let me leave it, other countries. And you see people in subtle ways, they try to blacklist your child for whatever reason. Either they feel like, oh, like this person is not from our culture, and maybe the child is excellent, or for whatever reason, they just come with subtle ways, and they will come with different things. And if you're not careful, you need to, as a parent, you might take in that lie without you. If you're all tempered parent, you just end up bashing the child, not asking that child what actually happened. And I like the part where you mentioned that the fact that they not only defended you, but even when it came to, because you realize that it's not actually a big deal. It's not like you caught it as as bomb shot or something. Like it's actually on you. What did the pastor, whoever the person is, what did he expect? Anyway, I just like the fact that it didn't also make you feel like that is the end of the world. Because sometimes as a parent, if you exaggerate things too much, your child will feel like everything is a sin, or like, and that is not what Even God is gracious to us, has been gracious to your child. Right? Let them come and mess up in front of you and correct them. Because if you keep exaggerating, they'll be too conscious to even mess up in front of you.
They even be pretending.
Yeah, and then pretending, and you can't correct. So you now lose that position. Because God gave you a very crucial role where you can see things up front, especially when your kids are younger. Before they turn 18 and then they are left the house. That's duration. 18 whole years, God gave you that privilege of seeing things up front. So if you're a very all over the place parent, you miss out on what the Lord has given you on a plot of gold. Yeah. So I like the way your parents handled it actually. We celebrate you, Sama, for the grace. Yeah. All right. So now we're back to the cards. Which other number would you like to go for?
I don't have number 2. You want to ask my name?
No, I don't think you've done number 2. No, you've not done.
Number 2.
All right. Share key lessons you've learned. One as a spouse, and the other one as a mom. So you have 2 things. One for spouse, one as a mom.
Okay, for as a spouse, I'll say that assumption kills macaron things. You want to communicate. Don't assume. Or don't conclude. Just assumption can make you judge good intention as bad. So I learned that in marriage. Don't assume what your partner, how your partner will just communicate. Yeah, that's it. And as a mom, patient, be gracious with your children. Yeah, brain and words develops like that. That's not to say that how do I put it? Be gracious to them. That's not use it as an excuse to go back behavior, but allow them grow, right?
Yeah.
They make mistakes, they shouldn't be afraid. A child tries to pack your plates after dinner and then the cup break and then you're screaming. I mean, you safe. How many have you been? I know that's another. So be gracious so that they know that they can make mistakes, they can fail, but they can rise up again. So important.
Yeah. So happy. Because sometimes I think this picture just came to mind. There are some kids or people that are grown up even like in our society or in our age bracket. You see some people that they are too afraid to fail that they will do practically anything. To just ensure that they don't, because they feel like my parents is going to be disappointed in me. And that is not it. Life is about, you will have moments where you fail at things, right? But it's your attitude of growth, a growth mindset that, okay, I failed at this. How do I pick up from here? Is it still the same line I should continue? But if you're always constantly in that fear of failure, you will not grow. And life is about growth, really. So I like the part where you mentioned about showing the kids grace. Let them not be afraid. Let them not be afraid to share, to fail right in front of you. I think I watched a movie at a particular point where I literally saw the father went to watch the game for this child, and because the child did not either kick the ball into the net but it was a major player, the father just turned and left the aisle. You need to see the look on the child like, oh my God, I have disappointed my parent. Why? Really, intentionality as a parent, you can never be over intentional as a parent. Yeah. So thank you. I want to probe a little bit further on the spouse part. Was there any time, most likely the early years of your marriage, that you assumed on something, or you made this big assumption on something and you realized that I should have just asked, or I should have just said what I should have, because sometimes you feel like, for example, I still met someone yesterday. We had a sent for someone from church, and one of the people that were there were asking, okay, are you going who is coming to pick you at where you arrive? So she said, yeah, my husband's people or something. And I said, are you sure your husband is actually coming? Or yeah, she said, yeah, they should know. I said, I just picked and said, do not make that assumption. Call and ask. So you have heartbreak. Alright, so that's just a lighter note, but we most times make assumptions such as this. So is there any part, a vivid example that you had something like that?
Okay, I think the point is normal, but I think one I came to mind right now is one very funny one. It was okay, there was a time that white native was raining for guys. I don't know if you
Mm.
remember everybody any wedding they wear white and I started buying white pants before. And I gave my husband as a gift. I didn't know that he doesn't like white. I mean he just likes white shirts that he has to wear like and he hardly even wears it. So I found the white already. So I observed that he never wore it. Not once. And he didn't when he collected it, he didn't even act like, oh, I don't wear white. He just said, I think this is thoughtful of you. And then the shirt is there and keep it. And
Yeah.
so me like a year, I'm like, I've never seen you wear this place. Did you forget that the tailor's place? He said, I don't like white beauty. I'm like, why didn't you ask me? He said, "Did I reject it? You bought
Have
it
you
for me
know?
now." So I just assume because a lot of guys wear it, Yoruba demons wear it, and
Mm.
my husband is tall, native always looks
Mm.
good on him and all. Just
Mm-hmm.
assume that she like it. So next day, because of that, and many things are expensive, I can't wait to move. So I asked, how far? Do you want? Do you want? You know, I was
Mm-hmm.
like, surprised. Do you like Panara or you don't like Panara? I don't like Panara. Give me cash. Do you like do you like white rice or you like jollof rice? Ask
Mm-hmm.
questions. It's easy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't when you are upset. What happened to you? Why are you angry? Say I'm fine. You are fine. You are fine, fine. But I will not assume that this is why you are angry, this is why you're like
Mm.
talk. Let's communicate and I
Yeah.
think it works. That's just one of the words I can remember right now, but I just know that just say so it's okay, let's know what's going on with you and it's easy as how we
Amen to that. You know,
Amen.
amen to that though. Because I think one of the I still made that reference in that conversation yesterday, and I said sometimes we tend to think that because you are married to our spouse, maybe after some years of marriage, you assume that you know things about your spouse. And the thing is that they are constantly evolving too. Like everybody's
Yeah.
evolving, you're evolving, which is why it's growth. Growth is about change and evolving, right? And so if
Mm-hmm.
you're constantly like dealing from the perspective of this is how this person was last year, and you've not updated yourself to ask questions, do you still like this thing? It's only God that is the same yesterday, today, and forever. Man doesn't
And,
have that.
and because you even want to be better, you want to do better, you want to earn
Yeah.
better, your taste improves. The things
Mm-hmm.
that you use to communicate love to you might have even changed.
Mm-hmm.
So ask, talk. Oh, this is.
Mm-hmm.
Or is it? Do you still want this? Or in fact, just ask to be sure to consent.
Yeah.
And I think it reduces the rate of disagreement
Yeah,
and
true.
some things.
True. 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 Because then you would not feel like, oh, this person disappointed you. But did you tell the person that this is what you want? Did you ask the person, do you want this? You went all the way, shop online, got all of that, stress. You now brought the person who is not all excited as you envisaged in your head. But did you ask them, did you want this? Oh, but at the point, we actually had a bit of that with Obi. At the point, I would say that to get gift for you is difficult to really. In my head, I want to surprise. And I say, I don't really like it. And we try to be as open as possible. I don't really like it. And I'm like, after all the waka waka I did, now
So,
I have to give myself, I'm like, Holy Spirit, help me, plus prayer, which is me. Whenever I'm in the tightest corner, we're like, Holy Spirit, you need to just help me. So
pray to God.
eventually I found a linear ground. Either I send options and say which one looks nice to you.
That works.
Or based on the conversation, which is the part of listening to your spouse. Okay, they said this in basic conversation that they didn't want something like this. Maybe they're just saying in passing, oh, this looks nice. Okay, you've had option one. This one will not look bad on me. This is option two. Whatever your money can afford out of all those options, bring it in the surprise. Then you're meeting.
Technology.
Oh my. Alright. So, which other question would you like to go for?
Number 12. Have I done so?
Good question. 12, I don't think so, but let me just check. Okay. No, you haven't. What has been your biggest challenge as a mom? And how did you overcome it?
My biggest challenge as a mom would have been it was actually combining work and motherhood out of things. I'm grateful for the people support system. My husband,
Mm,
especially my younger sister. But then there's just a place of that a mother can only be a mother.
mm,
You know how best for they were. In my first 5 years of motherhood, I didn't have the opportunity of working close to work to home.
mm,
It was I spent a minimum of 2 hours on the road
mm,
going, then coming back. Oh, I worked for context. I lived at Iowa and
mm,
I worked at Victoria Island,
mm,
traffic, road construction. Many of my children's milestones, I didn't know. I just never say, this person is already working. Oh. Maybe I'm doing something on Saturday. I can see it. You know, I wasn't really as present as I wanted
mm,
to do. And it was like me having to pick between earning to support the family and other responsibilities aside from my
mm,
immediate family, trying to build a career and motherhood. It was, I can't even say that, I can't proudly say that I had a balance. I didn't have
mm,
that balance until recently when I now started having opportunities. All of this led not to 6 years. I
mm,
now had the opportunity to start working closer, mainland, or working in mainland, living in mainland, then and that's like doing that. So it means that all those times breastfeeding is like exclusive at all. I don't have the means
yeah.
or opportunity to even do all those things. I mean, my
Mm,
children, my first child, thank God for COVID. COVID really helped me in raising my first child. At least we're all at home.
mm,
But I went to drop him at say 5 months at the crèche. He will
mm,
be there till night. It was if I got used to be his school owner, that's where he spent his whole day. It wasn't a good fit, but I'm
mm,
grateful that at least now that they are growing, I'm a bit closer to them. I'm able to ask questions. Then ask questions like there were days that maybe in a week they saw me only once
oh,
because
wow.
I would before they
Yeah, before they
get
wake
ready
up.
for school. By the time they come back, when I come back, they are gone to bed. They wasn't
Yeah.
depressed and it gave me so much peace. I don't even think I did balance it. That's the truth.
Mm,
But then now that they are growing older, I'm more at home. 6, 7 average and home. Then I don't leave them as early as I used to. I think now we're happy to, maybe make up for these things. Yeah.
yeah. All right. Thank you so much for sharing that. I want to probe a little bit. Was there at any point you actually felt more pressured to actually leave one for the other? Like for maybe society or maybe someone said something to you and then you were like, maybe I'm a bad mom and I really need to leave my job and spend more time with my kids. Was there any points that I felt like, okay, I'm not sure, like you go to that, when you say like you got into the wall, like I really need to pick one right now or not? Was there any point like that?
So there are been a time. Okay, so one thing is, even in the midst of that period, most of the people I've worked with were good people. Like, especially the first, when I was having my first child, when he was still a baby, they were gracious. It was just the
Mm,
demand of the team at the time. But I think one time that really tested me was one period where I had a very toxic boss. In fact, I don't pray for anybody to encounter such a person. He has zero empathy. Like he's dead to human feelings. That's his
wow.
person. And so this particular time, my child had fallen ill, and then I was called from school that he was throwing up and wouldn't stop, vomiting. So I said, "Sir, please, I need to go get my child and not." So we reluctantly allowed him. I
Mm,
rushed home, we took him from to one hospital. He wasn't getting better, he was getting pale. I know they couldn't handle. We had to now take him to another hospital again. He was receiving treatment for a while. So that like 2 days of work already. And
mm,
then he got better, we went home. Then I have to now apply for leave while of that. Thankfully, HR was aware and
yeah.
all. So I resumed work. Then the second day I resumed, he got back to school. And developed a fever again.
Oh, wow.
I know this kind of person. I know his person. I know how he can react to situation. So,
Yeah.
but I still had to because I had to be there for my child.
Yeah.
I need to be there. And I said, boss, I'm really sorry, sir. Please, sir, I need to see my child. They just called me. He said, are you the only one with children?
Does he
Are you
also
the
have
only
a
one
job?
with children? He has his children are grown.
Oh, okay.
Are you the only one with children? This person has a child. A child is not sick. This person has a child. A child is not sick. It's only you. Is your house dirty? How's your child always falling sick? Oh no, I cried. And at that point, I do I just resign? Or face my children and all? But then, well, other issues on ground. And
Mm,
I just look at it. After I just ignored, then I went back. And me by myself, I thought to myself, last, is an employee. I am
mm,
also an employee.
true.
So I just,
And tomorrow it can be,
do you
you
know,
can
yes,
leave for another
anybody
branch or
can
something.
leave. So that was how I just working there. So I think that was one time I really thought, am I neglecting my child's health? Because he was really sick that period. It
Mm,
was God that saved him. And I was like, am I sacrificing my child for to build a career or something?
mm.
But thankfully he got better and I don't know about the divorce. Imagine I've resigned because of him. So I think that was one time. That was one time.
Oh my. I like the fact that you actually thought about it in that perspective, because sometimes you feel like, oh, like this boss of mine, that they are God. They are not God. Yeah, they can act as if they are God, but I like the perspective you saw it from. He's an employee, I'm also an employee. At the end of the day, I can't call it quit just because you're being difficult right now. Especially when the Lord has not told that it's time for you to leave or go to another job.
Mm.
And just still based on this same conversation, what advice do you give any mom that is currently struggling to balance work life and being there for their child or children and dealing with mom guilt?
I'll say that first of all, relying on the Holy Spirit for help.
Mm,
One thing I know is that the Holy Spirit needs to give people arc. The Holy Spirit gives me arc.
mm-hmm,
Yeah, and more like shortcut to make things easier for you, even
mm,
with your child.
mm,
The Holy Spirit can actually give you predictions on what to
mm,
do. So first and foremost, have a good relationship with the Holy Spirit.
yeah.
That's one. Then secondly, no award for best in opera. Get a solid support system. No, they need their one person. Get solid
Oh
support
my.
system. If
Mm,
you need to get a washing machine to do your laundry, get a
mm,
washing machine. If you need to pay for cleaning services, pay for it.
mm,
If you need to book a work to make your work easy during the week,
mm,
please. It will really help. Get good support system.
mm,
And if you can afford it, please pay for your outsource
yeah.
it. At the end, it's for yourself. Please.
Mm-hmm,
There's no other word name. Like Monday to Friday, you're in Lagos traffic or wherever traffic.
mm.
You're back Saturday, you're supposed to be resting, you are cleaning, you are washing, you are
Washing, doing everything.
anything else, but no, whatever you can outsource, please do well to outsource it.
Yeah.
So then, thirdly, you need to be kind to yourself. I also learned that along the journey. Be kind to yourself. Sometimes you
Yeah.
put every other person in front, and then you don't even put yourself on the list. Be kind
Mm,
to yourself. Take care of
yeah.
yourself. Sit down
Yeah.
in your car, eat your chocolate. Don't give any
Mm-hmm,
child. Eat it. You are somebody's child.
mm-hmm.
Be
Yes,
kind to
please.
yourself and enter the house and do what you're supposed to do. Trust me, it
Mm-hmm.
will make you feel good. Those small treats, those things that make you happy. Be
Yeah.
kind to yourself so that you don't lose yourself along the way.
Yeah.
Then fourth, delegate to you are not really parents. Especially if yes, let your husband carry the baby
Mm-hmm,
small. Let him prepare, let him do something so
mm-hmm.
that you can breathe. Speaking
Yeah.
with some men who know they are supposed to do it if you don't tell them. So
Mm-hmm.
if assume that they need to know sometimes.
Mm,
A man that doesn't even want to do trust, and you are
mm,
giving him trust, you give him money. Essentially, is the child of God. Do not marry a child of Satan. Marry a child of God. And you see
mm-hmm.
that you tell him, daddy, my love, you stop paying carry this to change diaper. He doesn't that. He knows that he doesn't enjoy doing trust. You will
Mm,
start helping you to get where you get the money.
yeah.
So that it doesn't. Any which way is a win for both of you.
Mm-hmm.
It's a win. Please, and I will also say, be receptive of help.
Mm-hmm.
I also didn't know how to receive help, but
Mm,
now. and everything I took. The setting of help, the setting of help.
Yeah.
Honestly, it really does. It's the setting of help. Some of us, we glory in being a superwoman and can fix everything by myself and independent. Ah, ask for help.
Uh,
Oh. If you have opportunities for HMO, for spa, this thing, I use everything. Comes to you.
mhm,
Ask for help, receive help.
mhm.
It belongs to you. Let's start to a great deal because sometimes what you just need to get a little receive is relief of stress,
Yeah.
asking, and please have good friends.
Yeah.
Honestly, have friends that you can even just be ranting to. Not that you should not be ranting all the time. You don't even want to, it's mutual. But I'm
Mm.
saying that have good friends and be a good friend. So we need this support. Especially women that are in your same, can I say, same, how would I put it, phase of life,
Season.
kind
Yeah.
of, same season, say you are raising children,
Mm.
your career, business, and all. So you would learn because why in the conversations you are having, God
Yeah.
can actually speak to you. You can
Yeah.
get inspired. You can learn the one thing a person does. That's
Mm.
if I know what this person is doing, it can actually help me. You might be that missing link you need in your own family.
Yeah.
Then second to the last, I'll say that be organized.
Mm.
You're very organized. It helps. You know that your child will go to the crèche from
Mm.
Monday to Friday. Don't
Yeah.
wait till Monday night before you start packing.
Yeah. Pick it.
Saturday, Sunday, pack
Mm-hmm.
the clothes, pack the
Yeah.
diaper. If you want
Mm-hmm.
to use a plug or anything down to identify, label it, be organized. Why? It saves you time during the week.
Sure.
Be organized, have the day. Oh, every Tuesday I'll do my laundry. You don't have to wait till
Mm.
Saturday.
Yeah.
You have a washing machine if you do, and if you don't, you find a system around it. Oh,
Mm.
this is what I will do. That way, you're not close, you're not keeping all your chores to one side. That's if you
Yeah.
don't have a maid or an assistant, something to help you.
Yeah.
Be organized. Why? You have time in yourself and you already have like a structure in place.
Yeah.
Being organized makes you know that my child is supposed to be in bed by 9 o'clock. There's
Yeah.
nothing they're waiting for. Even if that sleep do not come, let them lie on that bed sheet.
Yeah. True.
They will
True.
still find it.
Mm-hmm.
They know that. And one thing about it, I noticed that children respond to structure.
Very true.
If they know that this is one, they do this by this time, they sleep by this time, they are
Yeah.
allowed to play by this time, this is screen
Yeah.
time, they are
Yeah.
organized too. And it's better for
Mm-hmm.
you as the mom to
True.
please be highly organized. And honestly, finally, it does get better.
Mm.
That's because to say that parenting gets easier. I'm saying that combining everything together gets
Mm.
better. If you're in a career line, as you go higher in career, your children are going to grow higher, you have time, you be a little bit more you have a bit of more control with your time, and your children are growing too, and
Yeah.
they're becoming less dependent on you. I mean, maybe you have to prepare cereal for them, but they are get to the age where they can make beverages themselves, they
Yeah.
know what to wear, and as they're growing older, they can make simple meals themselves and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So it does get better as you grow older. So
Yeah.
these are the things I would say. Thank you.
Thank you. Really, you touched on a lot of things. And I'm not
Okay.
able to do recap, so I hope everyone that is watching have taken all these notes. But I
Okay.
really liked the way you broke it down into parts and you highlighted it. I wanted to spotlight the part of there is no award for Superwoman. I think we're still joking about it this last month, either this ending of last month, because now we're in another month, but was recently. And then Obi was like, anytime he sees me around and I say, babe, sometimes I'm like, and I have, like, he can read my expression when I'm about to say, babe, help me do this one. So I was like, this, you cannot even say that, babe, don't do this. I said, sorry, I'm not a Superwoman. See, Superwoman is not my name. I'm not about to get that award, so sorry. If I need help, me, I will gladly ask you.
Yeah.
I'm not on that list though. I have never ever liked that Superwoman. People will go and post on social media and say, okay, all the best to you, but me, I'm somebody's child. I can only give what I have. So if I'm stressing my head, stressing my body, stressing everything, I can't give my best to you guys. I can't.
Mhm.
So please don't be afraid. Be unapologetic about it. Receive all the help an assistant. If it's to call your mom, maybe she has retired. Mom will come and stay for
Or
2
you need to go and put the children there, so that you can rest during your holiday or weekend break.
Yeah.
Oh,
Kindly use the
ship them.
you said ship them. Let them do their grammar duties with Jesus joy. I was talking to a parent and she said that that's one of the things she wished she did before she left. Because then they didn't really make use of that grammar. But now that they cross the border, there's no grammar that they can drop. I say, please, if you're in a space where you have family members and people that you can easily call, just use the people, especially if you know that they're willing, not like a Zoom. Don't go and drop your child for somebody that doesn't want to. But if you know that they've been saying, bring your child for this, bring it, and they've been asking you, please, they'll be fine. Especially if you're people that in your inner circle that you can trust, they have the same value system as yours. You know, the same. There's one of the things I learned recently. It's not like I've not known, but it kind of reinforced it. The place of having family values. One of the boards that is here is actually family values, where I wrote it down. Like, these are the things, and we emphasize from time to time to Jason, like correcting him or saying something to him. And if your family values, for example, is that we will never insult, and you know that there's this people that be saying, bring your child, and they're always insulting each other. Please, I'm not saying go and drop your child in that kind of space. But people that have the same value system as yours, and you know that your child will be in the same safe space you've created, then please, by all means, use all the help. Yeah? Alright. So is there anything that you were told about your child? Like, let's say when they were younger, and maybe a feedback from a teacher or something, and it felt like you had to, maybe a negative feedback that you received from your child. And at the point you felt like, okay, maybe they are right. Or maybe at that point, you felt like, no, this is not my child. I just want to know, because there are times where you get feedback from, let's say, schools or people, guardians or people around about your child, and you need to, which is another aspect that I think in the system we are in, we have as a parent, as parents, myself and Obi, we've intentionally, but people will say that you're always defending, because at this point, you realize that it's not just people just come, systems come with different subtle ways, and you need to be very, very mindful. So you know where you draw the line between this is a healthy feedback and this is totally not my child. Not because you're living in denial, but because you know, one, that's not what God has told about you. Two is that either they're being short-sighted to see the good in your child, and they are just, sometimes people see what they want to see. So, have you ever had something similar to that or something in that line, and how did you handle it? Was there a time that your child proved them wrong? Maybe they said they cannot do this, they can't do that, and your child now proved them wrong by doing even much more than that at a later time? Just something around that.
Yeah. I remember the first school my children as kids. They had brought in a new teacher. And it was a new term or new session, but it was a new teacher. It was someone that my first child is used to.
Yeah.
And now, during COVID, my sister was with me, and my son was also at home. Was really little then. I think it was like 2 So she was teaching him. Maybe should I say for boredom? So, but he knew a lot of things. He knew colors. He could count numbers, alphabets, sounds, and all. So he knew a lot of things. So it was easy for them to teach him in school because he knows everything you're going to teach him. So then his new teacher comes, and then they have this thing on the wall, like numbers or counting on the wall. They're supposed to point to and count.
Yeah.
And then it was my son's turn. Now he's not someone who speaks loudly, especially when he's afraid. You would have to stay close to him to hear what he's trying to say. So the fact that he was called out of the class had really put fear in him. Not because he was the only child that was called out in the class. And then they asked him to identify this and find that. And then he did, but he wasn't shouting as loud as other kids,
Mm.
right? So the teacher sent a was it a message or a text to say that my child was slow to learn.
Slow to
Ah,
learn.
yeah, slow to
Really?
learn. Ah, teacher, I'm slow. I called that night. I said, no, don't ever see my child is slow to learn. Don't
Mm-hmm.
label my child.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't stop at the follow. Monday morning, the following morning, assembly, I waited. I was there. Because after the
Mm-hmm.
assembly, I was addressing them. I said,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't label any child. My child does not ask you to learn.
Mm-hmm.
Every child will learn at their pace.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't, even though you have your style of teaching,
Mm-hmm.
so children have their style of learning.
True.
Some children are visual learners. They
Mm-hmm.
like to learn from songs,
Mm-hmm.
from pictures.
Yeah.
Some are goes with, children have their style of learning.
True.
There are songs that if you want them to learn it is in particular, just point into song. That's
Mm-hmm.
all the button is.
Mm-hmm.
Some just create pictures of it.
Yeah.
So why did you say is supposed to learn? Explain what happened in the class. And she gave me that explanation. And I said, Madam, how is this slow to learn? Make me
Mm-hmm.
understand. She said, no, my was not. I said, it wasn't speaking loud
That's
enough for you
different.
to hear from afar. It's not the same thing as the child is slow to learn.
Abby.
I said, because we want to label a child what is not.
Yeah.
Because we have an expectation is not meeting.
Mm-hmm.
I said, no, if you want to treat other people's children like that, if you shouldn't, don't do that to my child. Don't
True.
label him, treat him that
With
way.
dignity and respect.
I said, no, because you are going to instill fear into him. The things that he know, he will be so afraid to even
Oh.
admit that he knows them.
True.
I told them, I said, look, I can take my child away from this school.
Mm.
I don't know how. See, I told them instantly. And then the provider said, oh, husband, you have never had any reason to come to school to complain. I said, you brought me. And that's why I'm here. And you brought me. That's why I'm here. Please don't have this. Don't let me do this. Don't let me have any this. Don't label any child. Don't label my child.
Mm.
Even let's assume the child is not slow to learn. It's your duty as a teacher to boost the child confidence and make sure that the child knows what to do. And of course, I also got home. I spoke to my child about, oh, you can be more confident. People in your class are your mates, they're your friends and all. But I
Yeah.
didn't allow that to child label, and I monitored to be left that school.
Mm.
I don't label a child what is not, because
Yeah.
you have an idea of what a child should be, and the child is not looking like what it should be.
Yeah.
And I asked her, did he identify these things correctly? She said yes. Have you asked him a question and he didn't answer? I said sometimes when you ask him, he doesn't speak loud, but he writes them correctly. I said if he writes them correctly, it
That
means
means you
he
notice.
knows it.
Mm-hmm.
She said, but it's not just by writing, by speaking. I said, I don't know where you were trained, but a child that knows the answer
Yeah.
and wrote it, the child knows it.
True.
The only problem is that he does not answer questions in class. He does not talk, But when you give him an assignment to do, class what to do, he
Mm-hmm.
knows what he's writing. And then I
Mm-hmm.
asked to correct. I thought she was arguing, and then I just took it over from there. And then it was eventually resolved. So I don't allow you to look at my child. And I will defend the child. If there are things I want to correct about the child later
Yeah.
on, I would never correct him in public or in
Mm.
front of those people that will criticize him.
True.
I'll call him up and say, oh, you did this correctly, right? I know that you know it because you are
Yeah.
really very smart
Mm.
and I saw you practicing it yesterday and you really try. But I
Mm.
want you to be more confident, right?
Mm.
So that when you are speaking, it will be obvious that you know it, right? People
Yeah.
don't have to guess that you know it. I'm not saying that I want you to please everybody, but I want you to be confident and bold enough to speak. And
Yeah.
so that was how I wanted to do.
Yeah, thank you so much. I love the practicality, and I also love the part where you said no. Like, because sometimes as parents say, they're the ones that the truth is that as much as they spend some hours with your child, they don't know your child as you do. They can never know your child the way, especially if you're a parent that is intentional to know your child, not the one that you're not present to your child, but if you're an intentional parent and you're present in the life of your child, they can never know as much as you do. And and that's one of the things for those that, for example, one of the culture shock for me coming from Nigeria, I became a mom in another country, but because I had been wired to a certain way of how the system, you have more there's a way they don't come or her here to label your child, but they do it. So if you're not, they just say, your child was. I'm like, for example, this is just in passing, but for example, when Jason's first one started preschool, one of the feedback is jumping on the table. I'm like, he's jumping on the table trying to spring over, and it was 2 by that time. And they say, oh, like he's not sitting down during the class. I'm like, you expect a 2-year-old even to sit? See,
Oh, very
it
short
does make
attention
sense.
span.
Then they
You get bored easily.
and they are very, the interesting part is that they are also very big on motor skills. He's showing you motor skills from.
And then you have a problem with it.
And then there's just a lot of, and I just want this to be an awakening for parents. We are in a very totally different world today. The way your parents parented you, there was still some sort of sanity. Even if most people don't know the Lord, there was still some sanity and God fear in the heart of people. But now, even with all the chaos, there's just a lot. And you as a parent, you need to be vigilant, active. And that place of you letting your child see you as a safe space is very, very important. Because the time your kid is in class and you're not there is the only reason why you get to know what happened in that classroom. When you ask them how was school today, and they will not just tell you it is fine or it was fine, is if you are a safe space. And that's why you can reinforce whatever they were told. Maybe they told them, oh, you're too black. Maybe someone in the class said, oh, your hair is like this. There are just different subtle ways that things come up. And you need to be that voice over your child to reinforce what God has said about them. Emphasis, what God has said about them. So as a Christian parent, please ask, if you don't have a word, at least one word over your child, which the Lord will give you as many as possible if you are always asking. If you are staying in the place of inquiry, like, Lord, what are you saying over my child in this season? What are you saying over my child? Maybe even in the future. Whatever those words are, reinforce it over your child and be that parent that's intentional to declare it over them. I also like the part where you didn't, after they said, oh, you're not start saying to the child, they said you are a. Obviously, the child heard now. Maybe the teacher even said it already in the class, like, oh, yeah, a slow distance. Don't reinforce it over that child at all. Because your out of your mouth cannot be curse and blessing at the same time. The teacher said it. That's one of the things the Lord was teaching me at a point recently. The teacher said it. Fine, they don't have that spiritual covering over your child. The only reason that thing will stick with your child is if you, that the Lord has placed as a spiritual covering, if you reinforce it over that child. So even if your child is acting shy, even if your child is acting a certain way, don't ever reinforce it. Don't say Boshimashini, which means that's how you're always doing, or King Born, like you don't used to listen, or whatever it is. Don't reinforce it. Keep saying what you want them to be in God's word till they become it, because your words carry life power as a parent. Yeah. So thank you so much for being here once again. We have come to the end. Is there any social media page that you want anyone that watches this to follow you on? You can just say the name and I will just type it when I'm editing the video.
No, that's not my personal page. Nothing there.
Oh, okay. Alright. So if you have any questions as well, if you're watching this, you can leave it in the comments. I'm sure she will see it when the video is live on the channel, and then she can also respond when she sees it. So thank you, everyone. Don't forget to share this video with as many people as you can to be a blessing. That is very, 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 please add more very, very, very true. It will be a blessing to you. So yeah, we'd love to hear from you. Bye, everyone. Bye.